All right. All right. Let me just send a message in. We are live on YouTube. So guys, I know I'm probably glitching. And also I got my cleaning lady at home. So I don't know if you hear a little bit of sound.
All right.
But yeah, I know my video is going to be a little bit glitchy. I ask you to be patient. I'm in my house in Italy where the Wi-Fi is not as good. And unfortunately, that's how it is. But I saw the replay. Apparently, you can see everything pretty well. You can hear pretty well as well. So, unfortunately, for the next few days, that's how we have to be. And then I'll be traveling to Dubai in early January. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is better there, and then I'll be back in Madrid around the 12th of January. So by then the normal lives should be back on to normal. So hey man, can you look in your opinion what will happen with it? Yeah, I'm gonna first cover some stuff and then I will look at whatever you guys want. And yes, I am Italian. I'm from Italy. I'm in Italy right now, actually. I am originally from Rome, but always lived abroad. My name? I was a kid. No worries. All right, so let's get straight into it because we had some beautiful trades. Not some beautiful trades. We had one very beautiful trade yesterday. In the live, we did take some scalps on Solana. This got stopped out, of course. We had another one on Ton, which got stopped out as well. But as I said, they were very, very likely to get stopped because when we were getting in these positions, this is where we were on Bitcoin. We did have that initial bounce at first. I told you that you could have scalped right around here. This would have been a profitable thing if you were scalping, which is what I said to do. But I was mentioning, in fact, and you can go back to my live from yesterday, that at these levels right here, we were right here, right? And with having these lows so close to each other, I was mentioning that the next point of interest for a long trade would have been that move below these lows. And as I wrote in my Discord, so if you're part of the community, you should know by now, I was saying basically, okay, if we reclaim this 85.1, I'm going to be taking that big long trade. And that is exactly what I did. I'm now about almost $3,000 in profit. But as you can see, yesterday, I didn't long any of this downfall. Let me show you maybe on the 2 minutes. Actually, let's do 5. 5 is fine. So all of this downfall, I didn't trade. I don't know what this was. Oh, no, sorry. Let me see. I'm not sure why. Oh, this was a short. Was it? Anyways, I'm not sure. But my big long trade, I opened right here, as you can see. Buy, buy, buy. And this was on that reclaim. So after we closed this 5-minute candle above the 85 100, I started buying, right? I bought at first a little bit higher, and then as we retested, I started buying a little bit more, right? So right around here is where I bought. And as we started retesting this area, I started buying basically all of this. On the order flow, I'll show you the one from here. And let me read the chat. Sium sei italiano, ma questo è precedente day trading, giusto? Sono molto nuovo in questo argomento. It's not day trading, I do swing trading, but we also look a little bit at some day trades. Like if we have some opportunities, we will take some day trades. All right, so for some reason, order flow is not working. It's okay. Anyways, I know how order flow was because I was monitoring it on Exo charts, and we had a lot of shorts opening down here. So here we had about 7 million shorts opening. We had about 15 million right here. We had some more like here. So it was a pretty obvious thing that once we would have gone above a certain level, especially what I was looking at was at the reclaim of this 85.7, which as you can see clearly right here, the first time we rejected it, went back down. We retested the lows, as you can see, and from there we had that nice move up. And this was obviously a short squeeze. from all the shorts that I had open here, which you can only see if you monitor order flow. But anyways, so from there, clearly we had a very nice run. I did not take any profit until this morning. Oh, actually last night before I went to sleep at about 3 a.m. I did close half of my position. This was actually 2 Bitcoins. I just didn't want to, I just wanted to sleep peacefully, to be honest. So I decided to close a little bit, and which kind of sucks because I would have made about 3,000 more, but it's okay. It's part of the game. I wanted to take less risk. If I got stopped, I would have only lost half. But anyways, I woke up this morning. I took 2 little take profits right here, and now I have that 600 realized and 1.8k running, which I am looking for higher, by the way, and I will cover that in a little bit. So other than that, yeah, so this was very simple. This is one of the setups that I teach in my mentorship. I sent this in the Discord, which for whoever is new here is free. I will leave you the link to the Discord channel if you would like to join and you are new and you're watching the live. I will leave it just in the chat for the people who are not already inside. That is right there. And yeah, so that's where you will find all my free signals. Anyways, let's keep going with the analysis and what we have. Also, what else was I looking at? I was looking at the TPO. We can open this chart. Let's go on 3, open. I don't know what's wrong with TradingView today. It is not working for me. There we go. It's just super glitchy. All right, there we go. We're gonna go on the CME. I'm gonna wait for this to load. And as you can see, the low was not the best right here. As I always say, typically what we want to see on the TPO is for excess. We only have 1 square, unfortunately. But what is good here is, as I was also mentioning in the past, is the fact that we did that failed auction. So even though this low is not amazing, right? At least we cleaned everything here. There's no more need to go down here. We have the short stuck. These lows have been cleaned. These were very bad lows before. We have actually remained, let me put this here so you can see without me switching every time. All right, the low on the higher time frame. What the hell? Why is this so slow? I never had issues with TradingView, and today it's not being so nice. Okay, so on the higher time frame, as I was mentioning, losing this low right here would have been very, very bearish. However, we did not do that. We went to clean these lows that we had here, but as you can see, the low here is higher. Never want to get this. So that is good because, as I already mentioned, this low is finished. We don't need to go back and visit. This low is finished, and now we could say this low is finished. So now what we need to do is obviously go look at the other side of the range. We took the liquidity down here. We're gonna have to target back here, right? Also here is not very finished. These are not good highs. So optimally what I'm looking for is for that move up to here. We have, I mean, here liquidity was taken, but then once again, here it was not. Typically what you wanna see is highs that look like this, not highs that look like that. Sorry, like this. So anyways, I am expecting that move higher, and I am still interested as a hedge into taking this short trade at 92. However, as I was telling you yesterday, since we took out the liquidity right here, this is now not as interesting, right? We were walking through this yesterday. I was saying, if we are to reverse here, then yes, of course, this 92 area is going to be very, very interesting for a short trade because we need to still go and take this liquidity. Now that we took the liquidity, it's just not as interesting anymore because we have finished business basically all the way down to this 80,000. So there's not really the real need to go back here. And so I'm probably still going to take this short trade based on the reaction, but I will be very more cautious and I will go probably smaller size. Of course, if we have a massive rejection, then I will add more size. But optimally, the target remains at this 95 to 96 that I've been speaking about. Let me Yes, the swing trades are longer than the day trades. I'm answering to the guy that asked if swing trades are longer. Day trades use candles on the minutes. Yeah, if you want to scalp, you should definitely be scalping on the 1 to 5 minutes. If you're swing trading like me, you want to be looking at 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, daily, weekly, etc. And in my opinion, swing trading is just much better. At least I'm way more profitable doing that. And by the way, I did also open it on this other account, as you can see right here. By the way, we've been trading quite a lot, to be honest, and pretty nicely too, as you can see. So anyways, I basically bought the bottom. It was once again on that reclaim at 85 point. I can put this on the 5 minutes. Right here, as soon as we reclaimed 85.2, I went long, very small size. I'm actually treating this account as if I had a very small size. This is the account where I started with 2K, and we've been stuck for the last few days, but because I've been kind of trading like a deadgen, like for example, I've been trading light and I took some losses there. But overall, this is a very, very positive account. And I just want to show you that even with $2,000, you can be taking trades and increasing your account. So as I did take a loss, however, I'm still up 1K. Today we're up another bit, but overall we're up 1.2K. So here you can see the P&L calendar. And yeah, so same thing. I mean, different account, but same thing as I just said. I'm just I took some profit here and I'm letting the rest run. You can put your stop loss in profit by now, so that you at least walk away with guaranteed profit. However, as I mentioned, I do expect then move up to 90,000. Obviously, if we start losing levels, then we can see a full reversal. But optimally, what we want to see is for Bitcoin to keep pushing, and yeah. So that's the preferred thing. However, we will still look at a potential scenario where Bitcoin doesn't hold up the price. And then what else did I want to show you? I wanted to show you, because also yesterday we were speaking about it in the live. We had this long trade on light. I had given you two options. As you can see, I was saying you can trade range low, and that would have filled you, by the way, right there. As you can see, I had my little drawing here with that big pump. I mean, this was actually insane. This would have given you a crazy trade at 1-2-13, for example, if you had just exactly copied what I had on my screen. That was the first one. The second one, which is the reason why I didn't take it, is because I was being a little bit more cautious and I wanted to see that move. As you can see by this drawing, I had given two options, either here or here. And I wanted to see that move below this low. What happened to, just 1 second. I can't see. Guys, give me just one moment. Just 1 second. Bibi. Ok. Vabbè, io sto facendo una live. All right, I am back. So anyways, as I was saying, I was waiting for this move below the low onto the 618 and 66, which never happened. So unfortunately, I was not able to take this trade, but probably some people in my Discord took it, and good for you, because this is now trading above $2, and that is a massive, from the entry I had given, 60% rise. I'm short now. What do you think? Short on Bitcoin? I would not be short right now, but that's because I'm long from lower. However, you have your plan. You know, it's up to you. If you don't know like what you're seeing right now in the live, I do suggest that you take a look at my YouTube channel. So where you are on right now, I have 4 free lessons, which will take you from basically 0 to a little bit more advanced, to understanding everything I'm doing and to taking your first trade. Also, I had given this same exact setup as Bitcoin. I had given this Ethereum setup. Very simple. Look below the lows, back inside. This was the trigger, and as you can see, this trade would have also played out very, very, very well. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So we can start fresh on Bitcoin, see what we have coming up. Market open just Market just opened now on the New York session. As I've been saying, stock market, I think it's bullish until we maintain above here. We had that move down here. We retested this point of control right here. From run it. But anyways, as I said, as long as we stay above this level, we can look for that new all-time high, which can obviously help Bitcoin push a little bit higher. So optimally, what you want to see is for this level to be flipped and for that move up. Of course, if we start to lose here, then you can expect that move down to 6.6. So that's pretty much always the same. Bitcoin, we can monitor how what it does right now. It seems like there's not much volume coming in, not much movement. But of course, you always have to keep in mind potential move to the upside to grab the liquidity, which can trigger a short off of a simple SFP of the highs. And you also need to consider, for example, that we could quickly move down to support for that long entry. Where would I look for a new trade? Which, by the way, I'm not going to look for it because I'm already positioned with 0.1 Bitcoin here and another 0.8 here. So I'm basically 1 Bitcoin long. I'm not interested in adding to my positions, but if I had to, where would I do that? And I will find that for you right now. So this is assuming that you are not in that long trade. Already I can tell that around 87 to 86.8, that would be the new area, of course, of interest. Yeah, around that 87.1 is where you would have to look for that new trade. Let me delete this. Right, so as you can see, this is an interesting area. We can put this as a scalp long. Remember, we are already in this swing long from here. So let's mark that so that it is clear to everybody. So here we have swing long, sorry, this area. So we're already here. I'm not, if we do hit this now, I mean, yeah, I'll do it for the live, but I'm not going to go heavy size. I'll do it on my scalping account right here. If we get that move down, I will take the trade. Also, we can check the TPO. What do we have? Let's do it like this. Let me clean this chart. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So what do we have? We have a single print here at 87.6. We have the midpoint with the point of control. So yeah, basically, it's tough because if we go back below these lows, I would expect for sure to go back to 86, which I don't want to see, to be honest. I would rather right now that we just have, obviously we can have that simple higher low and continue up, right? You still want to maintain this bullish market structure. If we start to go too low, then we could flip this into resistance and that would go for these lows, right? So we don't really want to see that. If we want to maintain this bullish outlook, we need to be holding support. So hopefully we don't even go all the way down here. I would even prefer not to see that, as that would show even more strength, but that is definitely some support right here. Okay. Let's see if we have some new net levels. So obviously you can see this daily level for now has been holding all right. We probably will have in about 9 hours a new daily level here at 85, but I'm not going to mark it yet. Weekly, I don't think we have anything. And I need to see here. This we already hit. This is where our short trade was from, right here, which was perfect. So that is not valid anymore. Monthly, we don't have anything, of course. This has already been hit. All right, so yeah, honestly, not anything too interesting. You can see that we're rejecting on this value area high. I'm gonna clean this up for you guys so that it's a little bit cleaner and you can understand better. But yeah, clearly we are rejecting the 4 hours. There's no candle closes above here. And of course, this is a resistance level. You could have taken a hedge here, like a short trade or a scalp, for example. However, if we maintain above this daily and hopefully we can close some candles, especially the 4 hours, above this level of 88.2, that's when we can start seeing the run up towards 89.4 and 90.3. Until then, this is resistance. And again, we can go back to this point of control, which is where we're going to look for that reversal. But yeah, there's no doubt that we are at resistance now, which is why in the Discord we took profit. I mean, you can see right here, we did close 3 candles of 30 minutes above, but we got slapped back down. So, I mean, yeah, to be honest, not much to do. Once again, we are resistance. If you are long from yesterday's live, you should definitely be taking profit here. As you can see, I took profit twice. But I would personally not be looking for short trades. So I'm gonna leave this open for you guys, but in the meantime, I will be checking order flow and I will tell you what we have. That's my dog trying to get into my room, but need to work. Okay, so what we have on the order flow this fall is just longs closing. We do have a lot of, we have about, okay, just give me another second. I'll be back in literally a second. We do have 3 million longs opening now, which is not positive at all. We have a couple shorts, but nothing crazy. So that doesn't look amazing, to be honest. This is not what you want to see. You don't want to see longs opening here. If anything, you want to see shorts opening. Because typically, a lot of people longing means they're probably going to get squeezed to the downside. So I don't like seeing that. So you should definitely be taking some profits. If you want to go short to try and target this, you could. Because also keep in mind, if this fails, we're probably going back down to 85.9. But you know, it's tough to say. Order flow is not always, I mean, it's correct, like the data is correct, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to work out. So we just need to be patient at this point. If you want to take a short here, I think it's too late. You would have, you know, a very bad risk to reward. There's no point taking a trade like this. Of course, if you were short from here, from when the level got hit and the retest, then of course you would have a very nice 1 to 6. But shorting now, I don't think there's much of a point. I would rather wait for a better setup. And let me read the chat. Could you take a look at Dash? I'll look at all the altcoins later. Yeah, if you can write in English, would be best than Italian. All right. Anyways, I mean, we covered Bitcoin, so we can just set the alert right here. I do think this is gonna get hit based on order flow. Let me see if I can show you again. Before it wasn't working, but maybe now it is. Okay, there we go. So, I mean, this is what's kind of stupid, because on TradingView, we have, I don't like looking at order flow on TradingView. I don't think it's accurate. I rather use either Atos or Exo charts. So anyways, this is what I'm going to be looking at for a scalp long. We will do this live if it happens in the next 30 minutes. Also, another thing I want to say is in the Discord or on YouTube, you have 4 free videos that you can access, which will take you from zero to trader. And once you're done with that, I am going to start offering 30 minutes of a free call to see at what level you are on your trading. If you are potentially interested in the mentorship, that this is not the point of the call. It's not a sales call. It is genuinely to see at what point in time, like where you are with your trading and how we can take it to the next level. It doesn't mean that you have to sign up to my mentorship. I don't really care about that. Just to basically, as I said here, review where you are as a trader, identify what's holding you back, blah, blah, blah. And I think it could help people. I don't mind giving each one of you 30 minutes for free. So yeah, if you're interested in that, I'm going to be publishing the link in the Discord after this call, and you can select a slot where we can talk. We can talk about your experience. We can talk about where you're struggling, etc., etc. But anyways, back to this. So we have Dash. Someone had asked to see Dash. Let's see if we have any trades coming up on there. Do you mind sharing your fixed range volume profile settings? Sure, I will do that now. Value area volume 70. This can switch between 70 and 68, and then row size 500. Number of rows, volume up, down. That's it. And then my style. I mean, this doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. So you can just take a screenshot of this. BCH. All right, first let's do Dash, then we'll look at BCH. And I think someone else had written one, but now the chat is way too deep. So if you can resend it if you're still watching. All right, so already I can see one of my favorite setups on here for a short trade. This obviously there is no interest in longs. As you can see, this is just a downtrend. I'm absolutely not gonna try to long the bottom. There's also no range. It would have been different. I've covered this yesterday. If we were ranging, then of course I could look for such a trade. Like for example, here we had a failed auction, could have looked to the other side. It would have been a very profitable trade. But in this case, this is just a downtrend. I'm not going to be trading this. I'm going to be looking for a short trade. And what I can see is two things. We have this. Let me see the bigger range right here. Oh, actually, I didn't see this price action here. We could have a long trade. We could. Let me just get all these profile ranges here. I mean, these levels seem to be working pretty well. So what I'm going to be interested in is this here. Old point of control. So I'm going to keep this 32 here. Also, let me see at some horizontals what we have. We have a monthly way down here. We can mark that out. Monthly. We have another. This is in 12 days. I doubt we're going to get back to 53, but who knows? So I'm not going to mark that out. And we have a weekly level here. Right here. Weekly. We have one here as well. We have some dailies for sure. And look at that. Bitcoin is now having that pump back up, which is nice to see. Let's see, as I said, if we can just stay. Oh, and unfortunately our scalp long level hasn't been hit. But as I said, I don't mind this at all. Also here, let's make sure that we don't SFP. Remember, we just want to see the follow through here. If we just grab this liquidity, we might have to look for that scalp short. As I said, here was too long to short. There was no reason to. So let's see what happens here. We can wait for this 30-minute candle to see what happens. Of course, position is now back to about 3,000 profit. This one is also about $600 profit. And let's just wait. There's not much we need to do. But keep in mind that we are 15 minutes into New York Open. So usually at this stage, there's a lot of fake outs. So that's why we need to be careful of this high. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna monitor order flow and let you know what is going on. But again, most importantly, we want to stay above this 88,200 if you want to see that move up. Order flow here, fucking hell. There is a lot of longs opening, which once again, I don't really like that. We might have to scalp this short, to be honest. We could do it right now. This would be very risky, but we could. So let's do a very small short trade. I would just counter my trade right here. Just because we had 7 million open. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna place the stop loss just above, because this is a typical move. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit more. This is a typical move that you see during New York, and I'd rather be protected, to be honest. So I'm gonna set a very small stop loss of $100 below here. I honestly wish I can get stopped out. I really would like to get stopped out because I want to see Bitcoin move up. But again, that was what I was talking about, the liquidity. This is a very aggressive short, by the way. I would not be doing this normally. I would rather wait for this 30-minute candle close. If the 30-minute candle closes below this high, then yeah, take the short trade. I would personally not follow myself. I always show this. I trade with about $500,000. So for me to lose $130 to be protected on this position right here, and to be protected on this position right here, that is nothing for me, okay? So I don't want you to go and risk your money on such a trade, which is just a hedge trade. This is money that I already plan on losing, okay? So I want that to be very, very clear. Don't just take this short trade because I took it. It just so happens that this happens live. It's a very aggressive way. I do expect this to make a new high unless this 30-minute candle closes in about 12 minutes. Then you do have a valid setup. How can you make it even more valid and less aggressive? You can wait for the change in market structure on the 3-minute, on the 1-minute, on the 5-minute, whatever it is. And then you would have a nice short trade setup. However, once again, I do think this is going to get stopped out. So there's no point in you losing that money. And it's better for you to just be a little bit more patient and wait for that. I don't want to be monitoring this for the next 12 minutes, so I just took it aggressively. But once again, I hope this candle closes above this high and we can have that continuation. And then even if I lose $100 here, I'm going to make much more on this exposure. And of course, on the exposure that I have on my Bybit account, which, as I said, is about $500,000. So I am positioned way more for the upside than I am to the downside. So this, once again, it's nothing. I don't mind taking that loss. But who knows? Let's see. It might pay off sometimes. If it does play out, I get a very nice entry compared to, for example, if in 10 minutes we're trading down here. But we'll see. Where would be a good place to put short on light? We can see that in a moment. Let me go back to Dash. So Dash, as we said, we have some daily level. These are all tapped. I don't like that. Okay, to be honest, we don't have too much stuff. This was doing very well until, oh wow, very recently. Okay, so this was going very, very well until it got killed. Let me see from the past bull run. Okay. Wow, that's a pretty crazy fall. This thing got fucking hammered. Okay, so let's put that anchor view up. As you can see, holding very nicely there. We can put another one here. And we'll put another one here. As you can see, these anchor view-ups get respected very, very well. Once again, here, from this high, it's been respected twice here. And then I'm going to put one more, because it does seem to be respected very well. And by the way, Bitcoin seems to have rejected pretty nicely so far. I'm going to put the stop loss right here. And now I have this trade not only protected, but about 3 times the size. But again, I prefer to get stopped out. 30-minute candle is still going to close in about 10 minutes. So if you don't want to be aggressive, you do need to wait for that. But as I said, sometimes being aggressive pays you a bit more. But of course, you're taking way more risk. I could have been stopped out so easily. So that's about $60 in profit. I'm not going to take profit as I want it to be a hedge. So anyways, back to Dash. I would honestly be looking at a short trade if I had to take any trades, if I was forced to take a trade. We don't have anything too interesting, to be honest. I would be looking at definitely this 48 level. Of course, that would take a lot to go back to here. Not a lot, 27%. But I would definitely be looking out for this area to maintain this structure, even though I don't think we're going to get that push to 48. So what you can do, to be honest, as you clearly saw, the respect that we had here, here, once again here, and then from here twice. I mean, what stops us from, for example, grabbing the liquidity that we have at these highs? Put this on 30 minutes. And proceeding back down below, right? Something like that would be nice onto the anchor VWAP. We can trace another lower time frame range here. No, this is very low. I mean, there's many intraday levels. But to be honest, I rather see this on the higher time frame. And I would either go for a short off of these highs. So let's put scalp short. Or I would go for a short off of these. So obviously it's gonna take some time. You do gotta keep in mind that if we do trade back to here, then you're gonna start having a change in market structure, which shows more strength. But clearly so far, we've maintained just, I mean, even here, right? You did start having this nice rise, but once again, you got rejected and then you had a really nice slap back. And Bitcoin does seem to have rejected very well here, actually. So that's not what I wanted to see, but at least I'm protected. And as I said, this very often happens in New York. You could literally like just be trading these setups during New York, and many times that will work out. Many times at New York opening, you just grab the liquidity either to the upside or to the downside, and you get that move to the opposite side. So obviously you could be taking, if you followed me for some reason, which I told you not to, but I mean, obviously you're free to do whatever you want. And if you did, honestly, you're in profit, so good for you. I would be taking that quick take profit one here if you're just in a short trade. If you're hedging, I would take probably the first take profit down here. But if you're scalping, just take a first profit here at this daily. I mean, look how many times this level has been tested and respected. So we could just bounce off of here and then proceed higher. But anyways, yeah, Dash, I mean, to be honest, not really that interesting. For my only long trade that I would do is, this is not gonna work out to here, but I'm just curious. Okay. Maybe. Nope. I mean, maybe if something on the lower time frame forms around this 32, then I might be interested. Otherwise, I do expect this to be hit, to be honest, unless we can reclaim 40. I do think we're gonna move down to this 32 right here. And if we lose this, very low probability we bounce at 28, but I think we're gonna move back down to those 20s. So not really anything interesting. And then here, yeah, we can look for something more interesting. Once again, you have to wait for the reaction. You have to wait for that lower time frame setup. If we get that, for example, range and then SFP, I will take the long, looking to maybe trade it back to 30, but hard to say right now. But for now, really nothing interesting for me. BCH, let's look at that one. BCH, USDT.P. BCH already is looking better. I mean, not really, it's a weird chart, but at least we have an uptrend, so that's good. What is BCH? Is it Bitcoin Cash? I think it is, right? Yeah, it should be. This is a really weird chart, to be honest. Very choppy, I would say. But I'm sure you can find some nice ranges that you can trade. Like, for example, here. Whenever you get these type of ranges, you can try to trade each time that you go below the previous low. So here you could have taken the long. Here you could have taken that long, would have worked out very well. So there's a lot of that, but not the typical chart I like to trade. we are above this. As long as we maintain above here, we can expect for these highs to be taken. Also because there's quite a bit of liquidity here. So what you can try to do if you're looking for an intraday trade is going to be something along, let's see, this is going to go up to here. You could trade the flip of this value area high to target these highs right here. I would say since the trend is up, you could be looking for something like this. But again, you would have to have a very tight invalidation. You would have to wait for this level first to be hit. So something like this. And then if you get some nice wicks and no candle closes below this level, then you can get into your long. You can put your stop loss below the wick and you can target, as I said, these highs. And then of course you can let this run if it wants to go higher. But this doesn't look too horrible. These lows look all right. The problem is that you have all these ranges like everywhere. So not the typical chart that I would like to look at, to be honest. Let's see what you have. A bit more back. Bet you're rejecting around the point of control of this range. No. Weird, to be honest. There we go. Not here. We're gonna put this here. There we go. Yeah, so as I imagined, this is where you're rejecting at the moment. But yeah, so this would have been a trade that I would have taken. Obviously I wasn't tracking this. As you can see, there's also the weekly level. Perfect rejection at the weekly level. This is literally one of my favorite setups. I'm literally giving this away to you guys. I shouldn't, but fuck it. Point of controls lining up with weeklies like this, they tend to work out so nicely. So I would have taken this short trade any day. Look at that. Just very nice rejection off of that weekly on a weekly time frame. So that would have been a very nice short. Yeah. I'm guessing also this was the same kind of setup. Probably point of control around here, no, a bit lower. Let me see better. On the weekly time frame, they don't always come out properly, these levels. So let's go on the 4 hours. Where's that level? Okay, well, this is just too much data to look back at. Anyways, I am sorry, but this is just too much. Like I think you can see it. It's like a zigzag kind of like. So better to look at other charts. Yeah, I know the live is not perfect right now. As I said, like we do have some issues with Wi-Fi at the moment. Typically the lives are not like this, but unfortunately this is what we have right now. Where would be a good place to put a short on light? All right, let's look at light. One of my favorite tokens to trade at the moment. So clearly we have flipped this monthly level, which we did try to short this morning. I took a very small loss on it. At first we had rejected it on the very lower time frame. It was very aggressive, but as you can see, we have now flipped this level into support. So I would expect that move up to 2.28. That doesn't mean that you're going to take a long trade now, because if you take a long trade now and your target is that daily, your trade is going to look something like this, which we absolutely do not want to take. So the trade is missed. The trade should have been off of this flip right here. That would have been a nice trade, something like that, right? Targeting here would have given you a nice 1 to 3, but we missed that one. Obviously the bigger trade was down here. Lucky whoever got filled. I did not. And to be honest, for a short trade now, we're gonna have to look either at this daily level. I'm gonna have to monitor the reaction that we have there, which is also actually a weekly. So I'm going to put this as a weekly. As you can see, the first time we rejected at the weekly again. So that's interesting. Monthly is gone. Weekly, daily. No, everything is tapped. So we only have this weekly pretty much left. Let's see, another thing we can do is get all of this area. Let me clean this up. This is old stuff anyways. So all of this area on light, first here. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to be interested in this potential short here, 2.3. So let's keep that in mind. Let's also look a bit more data. That's gone. Yeah, so I'm going to keep this. The target, I really do think is going to get hit. Like that's not 100%, but very, very likely for us to hit. I mean, we're above this monthly, we're above this point of control. We have the weekly lining up very well with the value area high. We're going to monitor the reaction once we get there. And that's where we are going to attempt our trade. Of course, the best thing to do would be to take this liquidity and then reverse, because the liquidity is so close. I mean, we're looking at 2.3 and the liquidity is at 2.4. So best thing to do would be a failed auction. And to be honest, if we flip this level, we're going to go for that high. And if we don't, just grab the liquidity and reverse, I'm good, thank you. And if we don't take this and reverse, then we can expect that high, and then there's price discovery, and there's no point in shorting it because it's literally just could pump to like 6, for example. So I would say this right here, keep in mind these highs, and this is going to be the only interesting point for that short. Of course, as I just said, this high as well. We do got to keep this in mind, and we always have to check for there. So optimally, we go and tap these, we grab that liquidity, and we reverse. I'll be interested in taking a look at that if it happens. For now, it just seems very good for another push-up. As you can see, Bitcoin still not able to stay above that level. Nothing much to do, to be honest. Very boring opening. I mean, stock market is good, strong. Look at that, nice push-up. Yeah, not much to do. Honestly, with the strong market open like that, I would expect Bitcoin to move up, but it seems like it just wants to get stuck. I've noticed Bitcoin typically moves a bit later than the stock market. A couple hours later, it starts to have that push. But yeah, anyways. Oh, it's Victoria. Lol. I didn't see that. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna stay in this long trade with 2.5k profit here. Have this short trade to hedge this other long trade where we are in profit anyways. And so I think we're good. I think we've covered everything. You know what my next areas are. And that's it. I will see you in the next live stream. And yeah, I'll keep you updated in the Discord, and I will leave the link in the bio right here. Once again, if you're not in the Discord, this is the link to join. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you not tomorrow. Tomorrow market is closed. But do remember that I have these free calls for anyone who wants to take a look at their trading. Look at my message, Alessandro. La live si è tutta scatti. Yeah, I know. All right, guys. Take care,